For the past 16 years, we just really felt like God was calling us to live on the south side of town, specifically the southeast side. We just really felt like this is where God wanted us to be. So just recently, in the beginning of October, on a Tuesday afternoon, I had been at the grocery store. So I had gotten a text from someone at work, and I needed to return that. So I put away the cold food and I left the rest out, so the garage door was still open. I went to my computer and sat down to email this person from work. And while I was sitting there, I heard the door to the garage open up. We have a chime on the door and it chimed. And initially I thought it must be Tim coming home for lunch. But then I didn't hear the door close. And so then I thought the cat must have worked the door open and gotten out. So I got up from my desk and went out to the kitchen and shut the door. And so I turned around and came back to the computer, and that's when I saw a man standing at the front door. So he had come in the open garage door and gone the opposite way around the house to the front door. And so I saw him standing there. I stopped, I screamed, and I said, "Why are you in my house? Get out of my house." And he told me to open the door. I turned back around and went back to the garage door and opened the door for him. He followed me that way and came toward the door. And when he got within probably 5 feet from me, that's when I saw that he had a box cutter in his hand. And I was close to panicking at that point. My first response had been anger, but when I saw the box cutter, I was close to panic. And that's when I heard, "Just relax and let him leave." And so he went out the door. I followed him out and made sure that he was out of the garage. Then I put the garage door down and I stood there and made sure that the garage door went all the way down. And then I shut the door. And at that point, that's when I started getting shaky and breathing hard and, kind of realizing what had just happened.
I've been a healthy person. I always did breast exams and always had my annual checkups. And in November of 2011, I was doing a self-exam and found a lump in my breast. The results came back January 5th of 2012, and I was told then that I had breast cancer. I was scared to death. At that point, I did panic. I didn't know, what was going to happen to not just only me. I have a 15-year-old daughter, and I immediately thought about, what would happen to her. I was just a basket case. I was so scared. Fear, it just takes over every thought that you have, because you're scared that, okay, you're going through the treatment. Is the treatment going to work? I mean, is it really going to do exactly what the doctor expected to do? My fear was that, what if I get through all the treatment and then can find out when the time for surgery that things didn't work out the way that they had anticipated to work out, and that things had turned for the worse. You feel like you're in this battle by yourself. And as much help that I had and caregivers that I had and my family helping me, I still felt alone, because I was the one suffering and going through all the treatments and had to bear the pain of the chemo treatments and the radiation treatments. I wasn't so much afraid of dying, because I knew that I'm a Christian and I'm a believer in Christ, and I know when I die that I am going to heaven. But my fear came from basically my daughter, what was going to happen to her if I would pass away. My main concern was her welfare, what was going to happen at the end of the treatments.
For several days afterwards, the whole event completely invaded my mind. I couldn't think about anything else. I couldn't concentrate at work. I couldn't concentrate at home. I had to really force myself to renew my mind and remind myself that what my worst fear was didn't happen. He didn't hurt me. He didn't hurt anybody in our family. So I had to kind of make myself stop recreating, what happened and what if. God has not given us a spirit of fear, and that He doesn't want us to be fearful. And so when I have those fears that come up, even if this intruder comes back and he attacks me, I know that God is still on the throne. I know that He is in control and that He loves me. You know, you don't say that one time and then you're done with it. You have to say it every time that fear comes up, and you have to release it and give that fear over to God, because the enemy will use that fear against me if I allow it. This isn't the first time I've dealt with fear, and I'm 100% sure it won't be the last time that I deal with fear. But then there comes a point when you have to leave that to God and say, you know, I trust you. Whatever happens, I trust you.
After I had a chance to reflect on everything, I knew I had to go into a fighting mode, because not only was I fighting for myself, I had to fight for my daughter also. And at that point, I contacted my doctor and I told her, whatever we need to do, let's do it, because I have a strong faith in God. I've been a Christian since I was 10 years old. I got baptized when I was 10, and my faith in God has always been strong. But going through what I went through with the breast cancer, my faith has gotten even stronger. I just immediately start praying, you know, God, is me and you, and I know you have my hand, and I know with you I could survive this. He promised me that He would take care of me, and He did just that. He kept His word, and He told me if I kept the faith and kept my eyes on Him, that He would heal me, and He did just that. My name is Sandra Robertson, and I'm a cancer survivor.